Am I going to lose everything if I can't show up like I used to? What happens when you're not at your best? When your energy is low? When your focus is scattered? When you're tired? When life demands more than just business from you? If you've ever been afraid of failing behind professionally, this episode is for you. I want you to be here because today we're going to explore that it's okay to be human and you won't lose your career and how to do it.
What?
I know. I know. Crazy. I
Can
know. And we're
someone
not talking slackery. We're talking high performer people that are living real life. You guys know I'll be transparent here and throw myself under the bus. But I want you guys to hear this. If you have ever gone through anything, and by the way, if you're human, you have gone through something that makes it to where you're not showing up like Superman or Superwoman at work, this episode is for you. You're going to want to be.
Welcome to That Shit Doesn't Define You Stories of Hope, Season 4. This season, we're having the honest conversations that no one prepares you for. When you feel like you're failing, when caregiving drains you to your core, when your body stops cooperating under stress. If you're walking through a season that feels heavy, sacred, exhausting, or uncertain, you're not broken, and this season does not define you. Let's begin.
Here. We always have to say welcome to the show. We're so excited that you're here. You know, we do this for you. And the algorithms say we have to say like and subscribe. So please do that. But more importantly, please share this with somebody. I promise you there's somebody that you know who has felt this way and or who needs to hear this message. So please do that. We want to make sure that we affect the masses and that we make a positive impact. And you have the ability to do that. So hopefully this podcast allows you to be the light in somebody's life today. But we want to, really dig deep. How today is going to work is I'm going to share a story personally. Then we're going to kind of reframe what's going on. And then we're going to do some rubber that meets the road because we're about transformation, not just motivation. We want you to come away from this and understand that you have the power to change your life, change your circumstance, or live differently. It's really important that people understand life is about intention, not control. I think we think control is an intention, but intention actually is more important. So, what are we doing with the life that we've been given and the impact that we want to make with it? But let's talk about not being perfect. Let's talk about being tired. Let's talk about, Jada, when you're just not on your A game. What do you do?
Hey,
I got
I've
this
been
one up.
there, and one of my favorite lines from you and Tim is, "Thank you for showing us that you were also human."
Yes, I'm so excited. I'll tell you what, we do appreciate that when you act human. And I do think right now, currently, with everything going on in my life, Jade and I keep laughing that, my elephant brain, I have an extremely good memory typically. But with all the stress and pressure going on with my daughter being in hospice and running two companies and other things, um, it's it's not working as well as it used to. And so it's funny, the same person, my business partner kind of laughs. He's like, "Oh, well, Athena will remember." And then he's like, "Will you?" I can't wait to get back to the point where I'm like, "Yes, I remember," but, I will remember, I promise. And then, again, me just going to this is something I'm struggling with. See, I can't even talk right now. This is something I'm wrestling, struggling with currently right now daily. You know, when you are going through difficulties, and by the way, every single one of you understand what I'm talking about. Difficult could be financial difficulties. It could be natural disasters that happen to your house, and so they disrupt your whole life. They could be somebody you love getting the C word told, you have cancer. You can learn something bad. I have, unfortunately, people I know that are finding out they have unfaithful partners. Whatever it is that life is throwing at you, that is making your body and brain just not function at the top. I wanna preface this, I wanna tell you, I get it, and I don't want us to give up. I don't want us to also not do the healing that we need to do, the reflection, but I also don't want us to use it as an excuse to throw in the towel, right? Really important here. I am a partner and director of sales and marketing in one company, and I am the CEO. and owner of my own coaching, consulting, speaking, and training company. People depend on me. Income matters, growth matters. There's a part of me that wishes in this very difficult season that I could take family medical leave act and then just sit back. But right now, that is not an option for me. And honestly, I don't know if I would develop and grow to the level that I am if I would be able to do that. Now, I'm not saying don't rest. I'm not saying grin and bear it. I'm not saying gut through it. That's not what I'm saying either. Here's a balance, if there is such a balance, right? The balance is really being honest with yourself that you're not producing because you're lazy. You're not producing at the same level because all of a sudden you became a slacker. You're not producing at the same level because all of a sudden you've given up and you don't care. Now you got to check yourself. It is if it is one of those things, and this is a different that would be a different podcast that I would get in your face about. But when you're going through difficult things, it's not typically those things. But we our self-talk likes to tell ourselves, and I'm being very transparent here. I struggle with this every single day. Every day. Every day I wake up, I am struggling that I am not functioning at what I call the Athena Captain level. And and I'm pushing myself to the most I can, and it just sometimes it does it I'm not operating at the usual level. Sometimes my brain is like, "Ha ha, I don't think so, girl. Your memory is just you're tired." Um, or you just don't have that same gumption. And, I'm right now I'm not prospecting for my consulting business like I want to. I'm not launching my book because I don't want to travel like I wish. I'm not pushing myself as hard as I used to. And some days I can barely it's hard for me to answer texts and or I'll put off emails. None of that is typical behavior for me. And I'm in my 50s. And if you've ever worked with me ever in my life, you'd be like, "What? What? That's not her." Yeah, but it is me right now. And so the fear comes in and I have been struggling with this fear, "Oh, my consulting business is going to fail. It's going to shore up and because I've told people that my book is launching this year and now if we have to push it out because of Savannah, they're not going to believe in me. They're not going to believe and have credit. I'm going to lose momentum and if I lose momentum, the whole thing is going to fall apart." Um and what if in this season because I'm focusing on Savannah and I'm not at my best, that I'm going to lose it all? That fear is really loud in my head. Really loud. But I have to stop for a second and offer myself grace, realign my priorities, realign my timelines. Understand that these finite, it must be done now or must be done now. Okay, there's some deadlines that are critical, but not everything in life has a critical deadline. Everything should have a deadline. And maybe if you're in the season like I am, the deadline needs to adjust. Just being honest, we had a team meeting for my consulting business yesterday, and we had to readjust timelines. We had to readjust priorities, and we had to adjust those based on my capacity mentally, my capacity physically to travel and do things, and my other responsibilities. None of that says that I'm a failure, even though I feel it. None of that says that I'm losing control of my business, even though I feel it. None of that says that my business is going under. Actually, the opposite. But that's how I feel. This is why it's really important. If you're feeling this way, I want you to understand, and we're going to do some rubber meets the road. But first of all, let's not get stuck in the emotion because the emotion is the emotion, but it may not be in facts. It may not be in facts. And there may be a way to reprioritize, reshape those deadlines. There may be a way to reallocate your energy so that you still thrive and that you still succeed and you still show up every day with purpose and impact and that you still provide. That you do all of these things even though life's got it where you're not functioning at your best. I want you to know sometimes it's not about just, oh, let me finish my thought. Okay. Life is not always about just work harder. Before my daughter got really sick and was in hospice, I worked pretty hard. So just work harder, not practical. Insane, actually,
Mhm.
because you do have to take some time. There are times when you're going through something heavy or additional responsibilities hit your plate, or you find out somebody you love has passed, or you have a newborn. There are times where you have to reshape your priorities, reshape the deadlines. You have to offer yourself grace and you've got to rest a little. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting a ton of rest. No, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to take a flog and flog myself every single day and beat myself up every single day because I'm just not functioning at the top level. Because here's the truth. If I could look at you and grab your face, whomever you're listening, I'm going to tell you whatever you're walking through, allow it to transform you, not crush you. Allow it to teach you lessons. Allow it to help you grow and become the best version of yourself. And how you have the momentum to get through that is one thing you need to do is you got to figure out what are your new priorities, what are the new deadlines, what are the new focuses, and how can you continue to keep moving but be honest. I hope you guys heard that. Really important. It's okay. No one who's listening to this will ever live a life where you don't have to apply some of these principles. Life is complicated. We're humans in a broken world. It's complicated. What I don't want you to do is start carrying shame. And I know Jada is going to name the shame and give us some reframe, and I'm going to give you some rubber meets the road. But I want to hold your head here and tell you this too shall pass. And you will be better for it if you lean into it and not allow it to destroy you. I hope you hear me. I'm not saying you won't feel the feels. I'm not saying you won't even curl up in a ball in your closet and cry. Been there, done that. I'm saying be transformed, not crushed. So, Jada, when we're walking through this and you're witnessing this, hey, listeners, I got to tell you, Jada is watching me, and I'm very transparent with her. She is watching me fight this battle, watching me. And fortunately, she has grace for me, and she's been very kind and understanding. So, better than anyone, she, can speak to this. But I know she's walked this in her own life since having a baby.
Ain't that the truth?
That's life changing right there.
Oh, man, yes, and yeah, for sure. So reframing really what's actually happening. So I just want to remind you, if you're listening to this, this is not a collapse of your personality, of your capacity, of your work ethic. Like, this is a temporary capacity shift, not a collapse. And so I just want to be very clear with that. And the reason why that's happening is because, one, you're protecting your heart. Two, you're showing up for your family where you're needed right now, and you're prioritizing what matters most. And I think, you can reprioritize and reshift things for a lot of different reasons. But especially in a season like this, you're going to have to shift your priorities.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Yep.
And so I just want to be very honest with that. I think your business isn't fragile. Momentum doesn't disappear overnight, and what you built will still stand. You're not going to have to start over. You're just adjusting for a season. And I think that mindset shift can also help you. And that is also, that's leadership. You know,
Yes.
you have to adjust in different seasons for different things. And this is just another adjustment.
Amen.
So having that mindset shift. All right, Athena, can you take us where the rubber meets the road today for this topic?
Absolutely. Jada, what I love is what you said about this is leadership. A lot of people think leadership means you have to be leading big people or be a CEO or something. But how about leadership is also a definement of character growth? So think about that. Okay, so character growth. I know none of us love character growth because it usually means we have to go through something hard, but character growth is essential for us to really live life intentionally and purposefully and with the highest impact. But where does rubber meets the road? And like, how do we do this? And so I'm going to share some tools that I'm using. And these are actually tools that I share with my clients too. So redefine productivity. Right now, whatever you're going through, you really have to determine what are the essential things you need to get done and what are the things that you can put away or delegate. Okay. Um, Returning important phone calls. I want you to think about if you're in business, it's the money-making activities. It's the things that move the needle financially and stability in your business. And in your personal life, it's the things that keep you stable and the things that keep the person you're loving on stable, right? It's not everything is urgent, not everything is important. We really have to really define what is productivity, not busy productivity. Okay? So really think about and then think about the things that you can delegate, pay somebody else to do, or just not worry about for a hot minute. Okay? Small, focused actions still move the needle. You can still have momentum. Maybe you don't take on the extra project. I know this is me being, telling you guys that are listening. You guys know I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit that is in my daughter's legacy. Well, I had to take a sabbatical. I was on 3 committees and on the board, and I had to take a sabbatical, which means I had to step back. Now, next week, I'm gonna go back to be on the board, but I let them know, "Look, I can come back to the board, but I can't do the committees." That's reframing my productivity. I don't have the bandwidth for all of that I used to before things escalated. Does that mean I'm a failure? No. But I'm going back on the board because we've got some initiatives that are important and because it feeds my soul. So I want you to think through, are there things that you need to say no to for a season? Are there things that you need to stop doing? And then what are the things that you need to do? Number 2, protect your energy like a resource. Man, I have learned this, Jada. Wow. It's really important that you start asking yourself, is this really worth my energy today? Because when you are already tapped and you're trying to show up at work and you're stressed and you're trying to show up in your life and things are tough, you got to be really critical with yourself about what do I need to give energy to and what do I not need to give energy to. Energy is a currency in hard season. I mean, it's your energy allows you to continue to show up at your best. Your energy is money. Just want to tell you, energy is money. So you got to really think about who you give it to, where you give it to, what you give it to, and protect it. Okay. Super important. Number 3, create a bare minimum business plan. Now, what does that mean? And I'll just tell you, in business, you want what are my non-negotiable 3 to 5 things I have to do no matter how hard this week is. What are the money-making activities? What is a follow-up habit I have to do? What are the relationships that I have to talk to? You've got to look at and really get honest with yourself. We as especially if you're in business, you want to like, "Oh, I want to achieve all of these things all at once." Hello, I am the queen of wanting to achieve that. What this season has taught me, and it even got even more narrow yesterday in a meeting, is we went from all these objectives to really focus 3 of them. Now those 3, well, actually probably propel my business faster than all of the others because they're focused, they produce, and it's less about fluff and interest and ego, and it's about impact and effect. So think about that. So you whittle it down and you get focused because you don't have the energy to do it all. And by the way, we should probably stay that way anyway, but just to let you know. So, not a dream plan. Okay. When you're in this kind of season, you don't look and like, oh, this is my dream. No, this is survival season. You do the bare minimum, but you still do it. And you figure out what that is and you show up and you execute it and you believe in yourself again. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm doing. Giving myself I keep talking about grace, I give myself some grace, but I'm gonna continue to show up, and the more I can focus, the more I can achieve, and the more I can do that, I can feel better about myself, and the better I feel about myself will stop that shame and that fear that I'm waking up with that I'm hearing, "You're gonna fail, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail." Shut up. Shut up. No, I'm not. I'm moving forward one step at a time, and I want you to hear, you one step at a time. Let's shut up the fear, shut up the failure, shut up the extremity, like extreme thinking. Shut it up. All of us, me included. Small baby steps every single day. Still making momentum, still making the impact. That's what we've got to do. And I believe you can do it. I'm doing it. I'm not, I, I wish I didn't need to do all this, but I'm going to do it. And I want you to do it too. And I want you to believe you can because I don't want you stuck. And I don't want you to feel like a failure. And I don't want you to walk in fear every day. I don't want that for you. So, but you got to show up because you're still bringing value even when you're tired. Jada, where do we go from here?
Well, the first thing I want to say is your value is not tied to your output. And so I hope that you got that from today's message. You still matter. Even when you're tired, even when you're slower, even when your brain is slower, even when you're hurting, even when your memory's not working, your work still matters. You still matter. Your leadership still matters and your impact still matters. The season may change your pace, but it will never erase that purpose that you have. And the
Yes.
season doesn't define you. So if you did enjoy this podcast or you think that someone would find it helpful, please like, subscribe, share it so you can continue joining us next week. Next week is the last episode of the season, but you can find us just about anywhere. So if you want to find us on other streaming platforms or social media, just search Athena Captain on Google. You're bound to find us. She does have a pretty unique name. Our season 4 resource guide is going to be linked in the show notes, as well as Athena's book launch pre-order list. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get those extra resources and a discounted pre-sale price. So run over there, get yourself on the list, and remember that this is not your practice life. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Start messy, start scared. Just start, because nothing's going to change until you do. Take one step toward the life you want and dare to share it with us. We'll be with you every step of the way. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.